Welcome back to the Think Strong Network. Have you ever felt like you're running a race but your own feet are tied together? Like you want to move forward but something just keeps pulling you back. Well, today we're talking about cutting those ties. We're going to dive deep into the patterns that hold us back and figure out how, finally, to break free.
Wow. Okay, just let that one sink in for a second. I made the prison. That's powerful, right? It's this idea that the toughest walls we face are the ones we build inside our own minds. And this invisible prison, it has a name: self-sabotage. It's the enemy that knows all our secrets because, well, it's a part of us. And look, what we're talking about today, this is for anyone who's ever felt stuck. For the student trying to figure out exams and what's next. For the young person just trying to find their path in a world that can be pretty confusing. And yeah, I'm talking especially to any incarcerated youth out there who might feel like the choices are limited. This is all about showing you that you have the power to take back control.
So let's get into it. If you're going to fight an enemy, you first have to know what you're fighting. You've got to be able to look it right in the eye and call it by its name. So what is this enemy inside us? Here it is, plain and simple. Self-sabotage is when your actions go completely against your goals. You say you want to pass the class, but you never study. You say you want to get in shape, but you keep making choices that do the opposite. It's that old saying, right? It's like shooting yourself in the foot. The crazy part is, you're the one holding the gun, and you're the one taking the hit. So why on earth would we do that? It all comes down to a trade-off. See, we self-sabotage because in that one little moment, it actually feels good. It gives us a short-term payoff, some quick relief from something stressful or uncomfortable. But that relief always comes with a long-term cost. We miss out on huge opportunities, we stop ourselves from growing, and yeah, we end up hurting ourselves down the road. So what does this actually look like day to day? Self-sabotage is rarely some big, dramatic event. It's usually a lot quieter than that. It's a series of small, repeated actions that just become habits over time. Let's break down some of the most common ones. The classic. We've all been here. Putting something off until the very last minute. The short-term win? You get to avoid that tough task right now. But the long-term cost? So much more stress. The work you do isn't your best, and you get that constant, nagging feeling of being behind. Now this one. This one might be the biggest one of all. It just feels easier to stick with the people you know, right? Even when you know, deep down, they're dragging you down with them. The comfort of what's familiar is the payoff. But the cost? Man, it's huge. You become who you hang out with, and you miss your chance to connect with people who could actually lift you up. You ever agree to do something just because you didn't want to have that awkward conversation? Yep, that's self-sabotage. You avoid a tiny bit of discomfort now, but you end up overbooked, maybe a little resentful, and you might even let people down when you can't come through. Someone says something that just pushes your buttons, and boom, you explode. That's a reaction. It's pure emotion, zero filter. A response, though, that's when you take a breath, you think, and you choose your words. Reacting might feel powerful for a second, but it can cause permanent damage to your relationships and your reputation. That project you were so excited about, that book you wanted to read, that skill you wanted to learn, all just sitting there, half done. Every time you do this, you're basically teaching yourself that you can't be counted on, not even by yourself. And that chips away at your confidence until you just stop trying to start anything new at all. Looking at all these habits, it's pretty clear we all build our own barriers sometimes. So I want you to think for a second, what's one barrier, big or small, that you've actually had to break through in your own life? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. Just sharing it is the first step to owning your power over it. Okay, so we've named the habits, but to really beat them, we have to understand the why. Why do we keep choosing actions that lead to results we swear we don't want? It all comes back to that short-term payoff. Here's the key thing to get. These destructive behaviors, they actually serve a purpose. They're like a defense mechanism. We do them to protect ourselves from something that feels like a threat right now. Anxiety, a tough talk, the fear of failing, or just the discomfort of stepping outside our comfort zone. But here's the trap. That comfort zone can very quickly become a cage. This quote, it just nails the whole conflict, doesn't it? It's that huge gap between what we say we want and what we actually do. We literally set things up to make sure the things we want don't happen. It's a crazy internal contradiction, but once you can see it, you can finally start to fix it. Okay, enough about the problem.
let's talk about the solution. Understanding all this is the first step, but just knowing isn't enough. We need a real action plan, a new strategy for life that lets us finally get out of our own way.
Before we get to the steps, another question for you, and I want you to really think about it right now. Who is one person that's in your corner? A friend, a family member, a mentor, maybe a counselor? Who could you trust enough to share your goals with? Get that person in your head. All right, here's the blueprint. 5 steps. They're simple, but they're not easy. Number 1, acknowledge it. You have to see the pattern and admit it's there. 2, own it. No more excuses, no more blaming other people. These are your actions. 3, make a new plan. Decide before it even happens how you're going to act differently next time. 4, get support. That person you just thought of, this is where they come in. Tell them your plan, ask them to help keep you on track. And finally, number 5, and this is the most important one, believe you're worth it. This is the foundation for everything. You have to truly believe that you deserve a better outcome.
At the end of the day, this all comes down to one thing: taking back control of your own life. Nobody else can do this for you. The patterns might be old, the habits might run deep, but the power to change them is right here, right now, and it's with you.
And I want to leave you with some encouragement. This isn't about being perfect overnight. It's just about practice. Every single time you choose that new response, every time you push through that initial discomfort, you are building a muscle. And as you keep practicing, you will find a strength and a courage inside you that you never, ever imagined was possible.
And as always, remember that all the material we covered here was created by The Educational Highway.
I'll leave you with one last powerful thought to chew on from the writer Eric Hoffer. People who bite the hand that feeds them usually lick the boot that kicks them.